I'm in Tradestation 10 doing the latest research on my money management algorithms revision 8. I want to show you how this works. On the left hand side we have a Kase bar. 5 is the size of that. Let me show you the data, how that's set up. Data, edit symbol, and you see the target range is 5. We're using 1 tick charts and we're going 6 weeks back. It's using tick data. And we are using a strategy moving average crossover opposite. So it takes the opposite. If it crosses above that moving average, it goes short. It crosses below, it goes long. I'm going to show you the code for this because it's a very generic strategy. So here is the code for this strategy moving average crossover opposite. And you see it's very basic. You can pause the video, take a look at this. Look at the results for this strategy. Not great results, but there are time periods when this does well. Can we time this? Can we time this strategy and make it better? And we're going to test this. The money management algorithms allow you to test Kase bars. The latest version, the previous version was only for time series. The latest version allows you to test special bars such as Kase bars and Renko bars. And we're going over Kase bars now. And so we put the Kase bars on the left and we go down to 1 second bars on the right. And I have applied a money management algorithm. You see the improvement in this money management algorithm. Now this is a great strategy since July of 2020. Now we like strategies that test well long term, but we are looking at a 1 second data which only has 6 months of data, and we are just looking at generic strategies. So this is just a generic example of how the money management algorithms work and how you can apply it to Kase bars on the left and get these results, and then apply the money management algorithm, equity curve algorithm on the right, and you get these results. And it's a form of the degradation algorithm. We've talked about it before. I want to show you the inputs and the new inputs for revision 8 of the money management algorithms. So here is revision 8 of the money management algorithms. I'm going to show you the new inputs and tell you exactly how those work. Symbol settings. We want to change the symbol input if it is different than the base strategy. Both of these are at NQ, so you don't have to change sim input. It just gets the symbol name from the chart, and if it matches that on the left, then you can leave get symbol name in there. If it does not match, for example, if you had a strategy that was created on $INDU, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average Index, which is not a tradable symbol, and you traded it on the E-mini Dow, then you would change this to $INDU. Now the symbol is the symbol on the left chart. It's the chart, it's a base strategy that you are looking at, not the one you are trading. So it could be the same as the one you're trading in this case. Get symbol name covers it, but if it's not, you change it to the strategies that you're looking at. You change it to the chart on the left hand side. So for example, this is the symbol we're looking at. We're looking at NQ, Kase, 5 on 1 tick. So let's take a look now at the other inputs. Chart type settings, time series. This is what we are typically used to using in the money management algorithms. The money management algorithms have only been for time series charts in the past in Tradestation 10, and we are adding Kase and Renko for custom bars. Kase is equal to 2. You set this to 1 if you want, say for example, 1 minute or above, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 60, 120 minute. This would be a 1 because it would be a time series chart. If you're using a Kase type chart, then you set this to 2, and that's what we're using. This chart on the left over here is Kase. You set it to 3 for Renko. And so this only applies to time series, the number of minutes. So if this were a 1, then this would be the number of minutes for the chart on the left. But we're not using a time series, we're using a Kase. Only applies to Kase charts. And then we look at the Kase box size and the Kase interval type. And interval type is 0 for tick charts and 1 for 1 minute chart for the resolution. And the box size is 5. You see 5 and 1 tick over here. I'm going to highlight that so you can see it. Kase, 5 is the box size, 1 tick resolution, and that's why we're using this. This next section is for Renko, and so it only applies to Renko charts, a brick size and brick offset. So we're not using Renko charts, so you don't have to worry about these settings. So a lot of the money management algorithms, the settings don't apply if you're not using that type of chart. And so this first section now just depends on the chart setups, which charts you're using, the symbol name, and all that. So we just went over that. Number of contracts traded. Then the entry techniques. We have multiple entry techniques. There are 4 different entry techniques. And so I'm going to describe each one of those if you're new to that. The limit entry technique also has an input of limit entry points. Market entry technique has no additional inputs. Stop entry technique has stop entry points. And then pinpoint entry 2 has pinpoint entry 2 points. And so limit entry points, say for example, we're using a limit entry, so if we get a buy, if the conditions are met, we place a limit order at the close of the next bar minus 0. If it's a short signal, it's a close of the next bar plus 0. That's the number of points. You could change this to 1 point, 2 points, 3 points. The more points that you add to this, the less trades it will take. And we just typically leave that at 0. You could use market entry. If the conditions are met, it just places a market order if this is 1. There should only be one of these set to 1. Either limit entry, market entry, stop entry, or pinpoint entry should be set. Only one of these should be set to 1. And so if you change this, if you want to use a market, you want to make this 0. If you want to use a stop, then you make these others 0. And so stop entry points is opposite of limit entry points. I'm going to refresh this. So stop entry point is the opposite of limit entry points. If you have stop entry, you buy the next bar at the close plus this many points plus 0. So almost like a market entry. And stop entries, you probably want to use a little bit of 1, 2, or 3 points. And then same opposite on the short. Sell. If this is set to 1 and all these others are 0, then you would say sell short next bar at the close minus stop entry points. Now the pinpoint entry, if you set that to 1 and these others to 0, then it will wait till get in at a better price in subsequent bars. And so you could use the pinpoint entry as well. It's similar to the pinpoint entry technique, rule number 6 in this setup. So continuing to go over these. Those are the entry techniques. We just went over those. And so there's 4 different entry techniques. Now you have rules. There's 13 different rules here. And if the rule is set to 0, then that rule is not active. So only the ones that are set to 1 are true and active. The others are 0 and false. And so the related inputs to each of these rules that are set to 0 are not active unless they're set to true or 1. And so you see in this case we're using the pinpoint entry rule number 6, the average drawdown rule 8, average drawdown rule 9, and by the drawdown rule 12. So it's a form of the degradation algorithm. We're waiting for this to go into a drawdown and for the equity curve the open equity curve to move down. Now rules 8 and 9, the default inputs for those. Now the defaults for each of these inputs are down here. I'm not going to go over every single input in this right now. The rest of this is going to be based on the inputs that we're using. We have more information on the money management algorithm page about each of these inputs. So for rule 6, we're waiting for this strategy to be at a $100 loss per contract. So if it's down $100, then it gets in and it takes that trade. So, and then if you come down here, rules 8 and 9, these by default are 100. So if both of these are, the L1 is the same. If both of these are 20 or if both of these are 10, your conditions will never be met and you won't get any trades. These have to be, if you use rules 8 and 9 at the same time, the L1 has to be different. They can't be the same if you use these at the same time. Basically, if rule 8 is larger than rule 9 on the L1, then it waits for a drawdown. If rule 8 is less than the L1 on rule 9, then it's a rising equity curve, for example. So in this case, rule 8 L1 is higher than rule 9 L1. So it's the equity curve on the open position is moving down. It has to be at a $100 loss, and we trade when this strategy is in a $1,000 drawdown, and we stop when it's in a $1,000 run up. on the closed equity curve. So we've set all these other inputs to false except sync exit with the master. And so that's the list of the money management algorithms. They're all the same. All these rules are the same from number of contracts traded down. The main inputs that change are these, from symbol settings to the Renko brick offset, because it indicates which type of bars you're using if you want to use custom bars. So I, over many years of trading, have not used a lot of these bars, Kase bars or Renko bars, but I know they're popular. You have to be careful that you don't backtest them inaccurately. The money management algorithms gives you the opportunity to make sure that you're actually testing these strategies accurately, because there is a 1 bar delay from the close in which this sees the market position. So if you have a Kase bar or Renko bar and you want to put it on a 1 tick or 1 second chart to make sure it's working, you can, and you get that 1 bar delay. I want to show you an example of how well this strategy works when it's not properly tested. Some extreme inputs to this that will not accurately backtest and give you very, very incredible results that are not true. So I'm going to change the symbol to Renko Plus Custom. And when you use these brick size and brick offsets, if they're too far apart, you're going to get very inaccurate results. I want to show you that. Brick size of 10, brick offset of 1, and we'll go 2 weeks back. 2 weeks back. So I changed that to the Renko with a 10 and a 1 brick size brick offset, and I've used the moving average crossover, so it's trading in the direction of the moving average as a default. Tradestation steady. So let's edit the strategy so you can see what I'm doing. I turned off the moving average crossover opposite because that did not work well. But if you just use the moving average crossover long entry and short entry that comes with Tradestation, you apply it to an @NQ custom Renko chart going back 2 weeks back. Then you see a brick size of 10, brick offset of 1, just 2 weeks back. One of the other things you need to do is make sure that your time zone is the same. You don't want to have local on one and exchange on the other. It will throw you off. If your computer's not on the exchange time zone, then it will throw you off, and you'll get false results between the charts. So look at the results here. This is just without the money management algorithm. This is just a false backtest. These are not accurate results in any way. You cannot get 2 weeks $155,920 on this strategy. 374 average trade profit, $20 drawdown on a closed trade basis, $420 drawdown on max intraday peak to valley. Here is the equity curve. This is absolutely inaccurate, false results. It's not able to see inside those bars, and it's not able to test this accurately. And so we can show you that just on a 1 bar delay, what the difference would be. I'm going to set that up for you in the money management algorithms. So we're going over here to our money management algorithm window. We're going to say, we're going to go studies, edit studies, and we're going to change all of this information. That's actually the indicator at the bottom, the put position data. So let's look at the equity curve algorithm, and we're going to change it to Renko 3, and then we come down here and we go 10 and 1, and so it's looking at a Renko chart, same symbol name, so keep that get symbol name. You could, if you don't remember what this is, you can just type in the @NQ. If you change this for some reason to the symbol name, and then later down the line you can't remember, you can always just say @NQ is the symbol you're looking at. And then so 10 and 1, and let's just turn off all the rules. Let's turn off all the rules, so it's just basically getting in on the next bar when the Renko chart on the left gets in. So we're going to set all these to 0, and it's just getting in the next bar in a limit order without any equity curve algorithm rules. We're going to wait for the results to update. So here are the results. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It's actually an upward equity curve. So it's actually not a bad strategy, and it's accurate because you're testing on 1 second charts, and it's 1 it doesn't see that, it doesn't see the position until the close of that bar, and then you're trading it on a time-based bar, so it's more accurate. You can also put this chart on the left on any, also on a Kase bar. You could test a Kase bar based on a Renko bar based on a Renko, and there's many different combinations you could test. Just make sure it's accurate. The most accurate method is to make sure you have Renko and Kase bars that are unreasonable, like this one. And then if you want to put it on a time series bar on the money management algorithms, you can also do that. So nice results. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better. I want to test a few things and then come back. So I changed the entry technique and nothing else, and improved this a little bit. So if I right click and I select studies or edit strategies, I'll show you what I changed. So I went from just the limit input entry. You scroll down here, there's a pinpoint entry. I had the limit entry at 1 and 0. I changed the pinpoint entry to 1 and 3. So I wait for a 3 points better than the entry price to get in. And that's what this does. And that's how it improved that. There's not a lot of room. It's hard to improve. It's really hard to improve a strategy that has a straight line equity curve with the money management algorithms. You want raw strategies. You want to make sure that you're testing it also accurately if you are using a a custom Renko or a Kase bar analysis. And so good results for a, what is this, a 2-week period, 6 weeks period. I forgot what we said. Over here on the right, we had, it was just 2 weeks, so good results for 2 weeks. This is unrealistic, 155K, but over here on the right, this is possible. The average trade profit is a little low at $35 average trade profit. You're going to get a lot of that, probably half or more of that taken out with slippage and commission. And then the drawdown is low, but this is a reasonable results for a 2-week period, considering that you're going to get half of this or more taken from slippage and commission. So that's the update, latest I'm showing you on the money management algorithms revision 8, how to set up custom Renkos and Kase bars. And if you have the money management algorithms, I'll be uploading that. If you don't, I'll be uploading that. If you don't have that, I'll be uploading it soon. If you don't have them, I'll show you where you can learn more about those. If you go to Capstone Trading Systems, Money Management Algorithms, this is where you can learn more about the money management algorithms. Revision 8 information is not on here yet as I make this current video, but it will be on here at some point, and you can take a look at this tool. This is an outstanding tool, a tool I've spent years developing and testing ideas, and it confirms a lot of what I know. And when I look at market portfolios and say wait for a drawdown, it confirms that through studying degradation algorithms. So this is where you can learn more about the money management algorithms, and I will have revision 8 uploaded soon. If you are a member, you can go to the members area, members login. It's not there yet. I'll let you know when it's there, but you can log in here and you'll have access to the latest version here pretty soon.